Welcome everybody to another episode of Mix It Up. I'm Sophie the Great. All alongside me as always is my brother
Jamar Lee.
And back with us. Thank you for coming back through. I always love having you over at the house, on the show, wherever. My guy Jay Spamp, Justice Spamp.
Yeah.
Good to see you again, bro.
You too.
So before we get into everything, let's just shout out social media real quick. Follow us on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, by searching at mixitup.513. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to all the content by searching Mix Space It Up 513. Subscribe, like, and comment to that channel, please. And also check us out on all podcast formats, Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, and Anchor by searching Mix It Up to search for our logo and click on it. So for this episode, I know I really didn't text y'all, but I figured y'all pretty much had an idea what I wanted to cover, what we wanted to talk about everything going on, looks like in the United States at this time, going from what everything that happened up in Minnesota. So just wanted to talk about it a little bit. We'll end the show on a positive note. I got one more topic I want to talk about that'll kind of hopefully spin everything to a positive notion. And then, as always, we'll end the show with that 2 seconds. So I just want to get y'all's thoughts, comments, maybe suggestions on what we can possibly do to maybe bring a resolve to everything that's going on, if there is a resolution. See what y'all's thinking, man. I got the form. I'm just going to sit here and drink my, of course, I'll put my time in, but sip on this gentleman for a bit.
It's tough because no matter what the people have done, it doesn't seem like they've gotten very far with this systematic oppression. Unfortunately, it's kind of in the hands of the government as far as making the change that needs to be changed, but it also is required of us to stand up for what is right. I mean, it's me and Three were talking on the way here, and I don't know. I really don't have a definitive answer. I mean, you know, you just stand up for what's right, and you hope for the best. But I mean, there's different ways you can attack it. I don't necessarily believe rioting is actually an effective way of handling it, but I do, however, I do understand the frustration and anger, and you know, with human nature comes anger and emotion, and that naturally this is what happens. And it's a shame to see some of these cities burned down, but at the same time, you know, you got to understand, you know, where the mindsets are coming from. I mean, they've been dealing with this, you know, for years upon years upon years, and nothing has been done. It gets swept under the rug. So I can understand it. I mean, like I said, I don't believe that's, you know, the most effective way of going about it, but I do understand, you know, why it is happening. I know there are a lot of people out there that don't agree with it, and you know, you can say what you want about it, but I don't believe if you know, you're not black in America, you don't really understand fully what's really going, you know, through their minds right now. So obviously they're venting, you know, and you know, just like I said, you just hope for the best, and you know, hope things turn around here soon. I mean, it's very depressing to watch, you know, just sitting here watching these protests, you know, because it's, you know, it shouldn't come to this. You know, you would think people would start standing up for what's right, especially law enforcement, would start holding each other accountable, because that's really what needs to be done. They need to be held accountable from top to bottom, and they need to start holding each other accountable for the stuff that's been done. What do you guys think?
What you got, brother? What you got, brother?
If you don't mind, I would like to.
No, not at all. I know you got a lot to say, and
Yeah.
you got a lot of mostly content going on right now. So you want to drink a Jack? This is
Nah, man.
so. Thank you first off. This is
That's the gentleman.
he got me to some gentleman for my birthday, so that's what I'm sipping on. So thank you so much, bro. Appreciate the birthday. Still waiting on my bottle from Justin, y'all. But, man, his insensitive ass, he ain't getting me nothing.
Sorry about that.
I'm just
Sorry about that.
I love you, bro. He cut my son's hair, y'all.
Yeah.
That's all I asked for.
Yeah.
Maybe mine next. What y'all think?
What hair? No hair.
Shut up. Shut up. Not bad, bro. What you
Yeah,
got?
No,
What you got?
no, go ahead, bro.
No, what you got? I just wanted to, put a little
Well,
salt in there.
I mean, how about you come and let him get it out last, because he's probably gonna have the most to say, honestly.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
Yeah, okay.
we're on two different spectrums as far as I mean, as far as racially wise.
What you mean?
I think he's trying to say. I think he's. Well, I get
What you
he's trying to
mean?
say.
That's what I'm asking.
I think what he's trying to say is that this is more of a touchy subject
Yeah.
with me.
Yes. No,
However,
I know. That's why I want
Yeah.
to understand what you mean by it.
It didn't come out the way it was supposed
That's
to.
why I asked you. What
But
do you
yeah,
mean by
yeah,
it?
yeah.
That's
But
what I said.
that's what I meant. You know,
I
that
got
we're
you.
in two different shoes, basically.
Me and Justin ain't black.
Yeah.
That's
we're
what you're
not
trying to say.
black, so
We're not black.
We don't-
So we don't fully
We don't
understand. what
naturally
you're
deal with.
saying. Agree.
You know,
I agree with you
what
100%.
African Americans are dealing with. So.
Absolutely don't. We don't. That's what I said. So yeah, I don't mind the notion at all. So yeah, I agree with that. I know Three's got a lot to say on his mind. So Zamar, you go last. So I'm sure a lot of people watched the video and everything, seen the murder that happened. It was a murder. I know some people will say differently, especially that asshole from Kentucky that posted that shit up. You ain't seen that?
Man, I had to get on social media, man.
I wanted to do that too. There was an asshole from Kentucky that posted, glad another one's gone. Makes this world a better place.
A word.
Yeah. Yes. So I know he'll think differently, but this ain't for you. So I think everything that's going on is well overdue. For it to happen at this time, I think should have happened a while ago, a long time ago. Should have gone to the extent that it's gone. I can't fully say that because I don't know each individual rioting has gone through, or what their needs are. Because like a lot of us have seen the Target videos that happen. What if there's motherfuckers that are in there that need that shit? They're going to, you don't know what's going on. You don't know how they were affected about what went on. What if they needed that shit? Now we saw a lot of people that went in there and took unnecessary shit.
Yeah.
But there could have been those individuals that were not filmed, that were taking food for the kids, diapers, baby formula, things like that. Things like that was not captured, nor do we know if that happened. So
Well,
I can't say if that wasn't just.
Also, to add to that, if you don't mind,
I don't know.
we're also in a rebuilding mode country-wise, from the pandemic. And I think, we're rebuilding, people lost their jobs.
And that's what I was getting at.
Now these people will lose their jobs.
Well, and that's what's partially what I was getting at, because as we discussed earlier, it's not just the people of Minneapolis that's going
affects
there.
everybody.
There's people from Chicago traveling,
Yeah.
people from Minnesota,
Yeah.
people from nearby states and cities that are going there doing the same thing. So it's not just the city of Minneapolis. So what we just watched for probably the last hour, city of Atlanta's going through this right now.
Start here now, too.
The city of Cincinnati, please just try to keep it to a level that y'all able to, so it doesn't get out of hand, hopefully. But we saw a protest going on earlier downtown. I think it's well overdue, but I think Justin, you hit it on the head that there has to be accountability. Now, what's the right form of accountability? I think is the main question that needs to be taken, because a slap on the wrist send these guys to jail, a fine, that don't cut it. Never has, never will.
Now, with that being said, though, like I was telling Three, I think we have to have some type of law enforcement. We have to have some type of, some law enforcement, but it has to be better. like all the way around,
I
way
mean,
better than what
it's
it
just
is.
like, I don't know if y'all saw the one guy that was basically policing the police.
Yeah.
Because you saw that.
Sorry everyone, something happened with the camera, so we're just gonna continue the conversation. Shaw, you were going.
I was going over the blog or the video of the gentleman policing the police.
Right.
So for just that, I mean, that's what we need to have happen from now on. That's what we need to have happen as a form of sanction, or just making sure the police are doing their job. As us, as civilians, as citizens, if that's what we need to do to make sure they're doing their due diligence and their duty, you need to do it. Especially if you think something wrong is about to happen. There's a lot of shit that I want to say that I can't precisely put in words at this time, as it's an emotional subject. As Jamar Lee I played a brief video of one of our brothers that we both respect as both a friend, a father figure, a captain. The kind that got us both worked up a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop what I'm saying, and maybe I'll continue at the end once I can gather my thoughts in more of a better speaking manner. But I'm gonna go ahead and pass the torch to Jamar Lee. Let you speak.
So there's a lot of emotion that
Perfect time.
there's a lot of emotion that is wrapped up, and I think as of now it is the hardest thing to control. When I saw the video, I was composed. Not composed because I didn't have a relationship with the young man, but composed because my big mama has instilled so much of this in me that I know how to react and when to react. But when Shaw played, I'm gonna go ahead and say his name, Desmond Goat, we call him D Goat. He played a snippet of his video, and I'm just gonna speak for me. I don't want to speak for you. I'm pretty sure you feel the same way. But to see a spiritual being like D Goat have an emotional breakdown or have an emotional reaction to something like this, knowing how control he is over his self, it kind of was like, okay, what now, right? So when he started speaking, he said that he had a emotional reaction about the subject, the killing of this man, and he had to take his post down because he realized that he was talking out of his human state, not from his spiritual state. And when I heard that from him, it was kind of like, when is the correct time for people to acknowledge, not for us to express, but people to acknowledge the hurt and pain that they're causing. I was talking to someone, and I'm kind of going over a rant, but I want to make sure that this hits home. I was talking over with someone, and they were asking me if I thought that he was going to get prosecuted, charged, and then if he would be acquitted. And I said, yeah. He's not going to face any time in jail, and if he is, he's going to face very little. And then Justin, on the way up here, he felt the same way. What'd you say, like 35 years?
Yeah, he'll get 5 years. I'll let him out too.
Yeah, but
and he'll get proper treatment in there too.
And he will probably get some type of money back from the state or the city because of the wrongdoing or the character I can't even speak right now, assassination. But when I was talking to my friend, I don't want to put his name out, but I was talking to my friend, and he said, why do you think that he's going to get exonerated? And I said, because and this is something my big mama taught me. It's the civil rights section, and I think I told him it was 1982, but it's 1983, which made the government's people acting as government agents liable for an official capacity. And there was a loophole put in place by the Supreme Court. Congress didn't vote for it. The Supreme Court went ahead and passed it, which allowed the person acting as a government agent, if you violated someone's right, if it's deemed not quote unquote novel, they will not be prosecuted. They could not be prosecuted. So that's why you always hear officers say, "I fear for my life," or "I thought they were going to do this and I fear for my life," or "I didn't know what he had and I fear for my life," because that's novel. You know, you don't know. So that's why a lot of these officers are getting off. And my big mama always told me, you are going to be a threat. No matter what, you're going to be a threat. So don't give them the opportunity to say that they fear for their lives. If you're in a car, keep the music going. Have fun, joke with the officer. Don't automatically, you have to keep your hands in plain sight, but don't automatically give them a reason to assume that you're guilty. No matter what. And then you have to remember that law enforcement officers or police, they also have a Bill of Rights that each state and each federal government branch of the federal government signed off on. And then on top of that, they're being a public servant. So it's like you have a job, and within that job, you're protected by these codes and these standards, which kind of make you immune to anything and everything. So, and I know a lot of people that I know, and my brother PG Steinfeld, he's on city council. We talk. I think we talked twice already. But I know that I'm going to piss a lot of people off, but I am mad. And I'm trying to help people understand that when they say, what did he do before they killed him? What did she do before they killed him? This is a clear cut move that was videotaped that shows this man was not resisting, he was not fighting, until they actually released the video from the cam. We won't have the audio. And the video that they did put out, it was so edited, you can still see the wrongdoing of the officer that they had to take it down. So, with all that being said, people, you cannot continue to march. That is the problem. And I know, brother PG, I know you're going to be so pissed off at me. People, you cannot continue to march. My big mama has always told me since I was a 9-year-old, you cannot continue to march. You have to be anti-violent. You can't be non-violent. You have to be meaning, if you smack me, I'm going to hit you back. It's not you smack me, oh, I'm just going to turn the other cheek. You smack me, oh, I'm going to turn the other cheek. You smack me, I'm going to... No. How much bruising and abuse are you going to take? When the Irish first came over here, they were looked at, and I'm going to say it, they were looked at as an upper class nigger. They were looked at as upper class niggers. What was it, 20 to 30 years later, they had a president in the office. They didn't take any shit. They didn't have bootstraps to pull themselves up with. but they fought for everything that they needed, everything that they wanted. So why are we still marching? The late Marcus Garvey has always told us, why are we marching? Why are we protesting? There is nothing that they're going to give us if we don't take it. And I don't understand why these political figures, these actors, these singers, these Grammy-nominated rappers, and all this other stuff are saying, let's be peaceful. We shall overcome. When are we going to overcome it? I don't understand. This is the most brutal killing that everyone had seen and everyone can identify, because this man showed no threat. And for everyone who sat around and allowed this shit to happen should be prosecuted too. And I'm even talking about my brothers and sisters who sat there and recorded this shit. You need to be prosecuted. You bear witness to this man's death and did nothing to stop it. We cannot continue to do this. And trust me, people, I'm not saying I got all the answers. I'm just saying what my big mama taught me. My big mama always told me, you ask for your rights. If they don't give you your rights, you have to forcefully take it. That's why I own a gun. That's why I joined the Marine Corps. That's why I'm teaching my son how to fight. That's why I'm teaching my daughter how to speak properly and not act emotional. You have to take it, but you have to ask first. If you don't ask first and you take it, you are the criminal. And you are always going to be looked at as the criminal. And you have to think, man, and I'm sorry, Justin, all these Italians and Irish and whatever you want to say, they always glorify their gangsters. Our gangsters are always deemed criminals or diabolical or evil. Even the Yakuza. Sorry, Sean.
Forgiven.
Even the Yakuza are looked at as supreme, superior, mindful people. But you have to ask yourself why. Why are the Italians looked at as a superior? Why are the Yakuza looked at as superior? Hell, why are the Moors looked at as superior? Because they asked, and when what was not rightfully theirs, they took. But they also gave back. They also command respect. You cannot continue to walk these fucking streets, especially in today's society. We watched over an hour protest, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many of those people were just there for clout?
Well, probably 90% of them are probably there for clout, because they're not standing up for anything.
For nothing.
They're just running around.
We with the shits. Yeah. We with the shits.
I mean, it's not funny, but I mean, it's comical to sit there and watch them do it, because that's an unethical way to attack the situation. That's not going to do anything. And
to the I'm sorry, it's going to be the last thing. To the people, the newscasters, and everyone else who are on Facebook trying to draw this picture of these are criminals. First and foremost, when your soccer team or your college team or your NFL team or NBA team wins a championship or lose terribly, you fuckers go straight to the streets. There's car burnings, there's eggs thrown, there's communities in ramble and shambles, colleges broken, and guess what? Oh, those are just people expressing themselves. But the second someone of color does it, oh, look at those evil people. They're just fucking up their neighborhood. They don't even know how good they have it. But if you look at the videos, and I'm pretty sure, and I told my brothers, I told y'all, I have not been on Facebook. I just found out what Donald Trump said. I literally just found out because I was not on any social media. If you look at any video, the main looters are what color, Justin?
They're white.
The people who are beating up the cars and tearing them down and burning them are what?
White.
Come on.
But like I said, I will say this when we had this conversation. I think a lot of them
are paid.
Are paid.
I didn't even know that.
Because honestly, I can't remember a time besides maybe back in 2001 where they tore down the city and them riots. Mm-hmm. But what I do vaguely remember, especially back in 2016 when this stuff started back up in full force, was there were a lot of whites looting and rioting. Mm-hmm. And now this go around seems like even more are doing it, and they don't even look like people that would even be there. So that's what makes it skeptical to me. And also, the media outlets aren't covering that. Mm-hmm. So what it automatically does is paint a bad picture for blacks. Mm-hmm. And they're getting away with it.
They're getting a clean fucking bill. And the thing is that y'all don't understand. My big mama has always told me this. Always, when there are a group of 5 or more black people, there are going to be some type of authority figure watching you. So if you have hundreds of thousands of black people gathering in this place, there are going to be cops trying to look and partake in it just to bear witness of what you're doing. So you're walking around and we shall overcome and we with the shits and Black Lives Matter. 2 rows behind you, there's going to be an officer.
Well, I think too, I mean, this is stuff they did years ago, and I think there has to be a different approach. There just has to be.
At what point are the people who say that they're woke and the people who have a big platform going to say, listen, we got to stop this shit. Yeah. We have to. And the last thing I saw was, I think, late last night when Joe Burrow, I think it was last night.
Yeah, he said that we all need to open our eyes and ears.
Yeah.
And give blacks a hand.
And you know what? That's great. That's 100% great. But with a platform like that, you have to tell people the truth. Marching, protesting, yelling and screaming, fucking up your neighborhood isn't going to do anything. The only thing that this system understands is money and loss of life. That's the only thing that's going to get this system right. Again, Brother PG, I know I'm going to be hearing from you once this go viral or whatever you want to call it. But they only respect that green dollar and the loss of life. If you do not threaten any of that, you won't get anywhere. And for my white brothers and sisters out there who are on the fence about this, just think about this. If black people were really as dangerous as the news and the media and your TV shows and your movies, if black people are really that dangerous, how come you are still here? Like, if we really are going around killing people for fun and that dangerous, how come we haven't killed any police officers? How come we haven't came to your neighborhood and just took your shit? It just doesn't make sense. It's a scare tactic. So media outlets, you have to understand, you have the power to actually delegate the story correctly, and you refuse to do it. So black people, people of color, I don't care who you are, white, Italian, whatever. You have to not only control the narrative, but stop fucking marching, asking for shit. This right here is what they fear. Because Justin can give his point of view as a white man. I can give my point of view as a black man. Shaw can give his point of view as an Asian man. And guess what? We can say, shut this shit down. Don't spend your money there. You spend your money where it needs to be spent. And also, guess what? If you come in here, we will correctly and by all means fuck you up. I'm done. Rant.
It's understandable.
Yeah, just.
On a lighter note. On a lighter note.
So on a lighter note,
Well, we could go on.
some
for
good ass
days
gentlemen.
about
We
that.
could go on all day about this. I go in and talk about my family.
I'm sure we'll have another day for that.
Well, that's why I said. I mean, I go in and talk about my family. How my dad escaped the killing fields.
Oh, yeah.
We go on about that.
Oh yeah.
We talk about. I'm sure your family has Italian background. We don't know about that. We can go through.
Mm.
We just want everybody to be awoke, be aware of what's going on, and do just. And I think we want.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
Nah, you're good. I think initially when we first started it, I know I personally I was saying we need to censor some shit, and with things that we said, and I started thinking about that a lot more. And I'm just like, we are grown ass men. We're gonna be accountable for whatever we say.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody looks at you wrong for saying the word homo or something, that's on you.
Oh yeah.
Somebody looks at you wrong, me wrong for saying nigga, that's on us. We have to choose what we say when we want to say it, but we would be unjust not to say what we feel while we have the platform. Speak our true minds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're doing. That's why we're talking about this. Because even when we talked about that first off, we also made a pact to say if something's impacting the world, the United States, whatever, we're going to talk about it. And that's part of the reason why that is the reason why we brought this up. It impacted us each individually, I believe, in some shape or form. And I don't think it'd be right if we did this episode without speaking our minds about it.
Well, I will say, being aware is really only half the battle.
Oh yeah.
You got to take the right course of action.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't take the right course of action, nothing will change.
That's the thing. I don't think a lot of people understand what the right course of action is.
I don't think there is a right course
And
of action.
that's the thing. There may not be.
But the proven wrong course of action is what we're doing.
Well, yeah, don't continue to repeat the same course of action is what I'm saying. Do something different. That doesn't mean you have to be. That doesn't necessarily have to mean you have to be violent.
Right.
Just do something different.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, by all means, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. Because like I said, there are good police officers.
Oh yeah.
And they're standing in the way of this, and they probably don't deserve this.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
for sure.
It's one bad apple or a couple bad apples or a bad batch that is making this a lot worse for everybody else, and they're taking the blunt for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I think we all support law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it needs to be here. It protects us, and that's what they're here for, is to protect and serve. And there are a lot of cops that do a great job of that. There are a handful or a batch of cops that do not deserve to be police officers, and I think all of us can say that as citizens we would ask them to hold each other accountable. You know, if you see a bad cop, if you know a bad cop, report them. Get them out of there. Because it only takes one incident like this for this stuff to blow up, and it's been one too many times. And I think it's time that people really demand, and just like 3J said, to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Take what's theirs.
And I don't want people to think that I'm saying take it by
force.
Yeah. Well, it is essentially a force. What I'm saying is...
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like violence.
Violence, yes.
Yeah,
because by force could be by voting.
Yeah.
I mean, this system is not designed for characters like Shaw and I. It's not. It absolutely is not. But it can change. And the way that we change it is voting for your local legislative. The I don't want to get into it because I done rambled enough. But you have to take it by force. They only fear loss of money and loss of life. And trust me, they get paid.
Well, I would say that they're more concerned about loss of money than loss of life.
Right. Vote.
Get them in their pockets.
Yeah, vote. You have to vote. You have to get out there and say, you weren't doing your job. You're not communicating with me and my community about what you're doing behind doors, because America is built on secrets and what they do behind closed doors. So if you're not letting me know exactly what's going on behind closed door when you are meeting and when you are dictating what we do in our community and not letting us know or not even giving us a say so, you're gone. You have to vote. And I'm not saying vote for everything. Just know your your local legislator, and understand that they have the power to change your outcome. You have to. You can do it by force, not by violence. Trust me, you have to be anti-violence.
I was gonna say, because I don't think going up against, what they have is really going to be too effective. Or what they can bring out.
Yeah.
I mean, because like I said to you earlier, Minnesota's going to be a telltale sign of how things are going to go. Because I mean, they got the big boys out now, so if they want to go against them, I guess be my guest or be their guest, but I just don't think that's going to turn out too well.
You have to learn how to protect your interest.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm going again.
No, you're good. So we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't mention an individual named George Floyd.
Oh yeah, George Floyd.
Nobody mentioned his name.
No, I'm sorry.
So let's also mention the fact that he was a father.
He was.
His daughter down in Houston, Texas, he was going to move up to where he was.
He had two, right?
I only know one.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So he was going to move up to Houston, Texas. Minneapolis. She was going to move up.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a father. So that hits me and you. Mm-hmm. Justin, I'm sure that hits you as well, being an uncle as well. So my question to you is, say if me or you were assassinated, how would you want your daughter to handle it? Because
I don't want to say. I know my brothers in the Marine Corps would handle it. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I don't want to. Because I was raised in a different way and manner. My grandmother raised me as when she was a Muslim woman.
So how you think George Floyd? How you think his daughter's handling it? How you think his daughter will grow up to handle it?
I hope she runs for office.
Okay.
That's a good way to fight it.
I hope she runs for office.
What do you think her surrounding peers when she grows up? Or now? I'm not sure how old she is. Let me put that out there too. Because I know what our peers would have told us to do about it.
Oh yeah.
That's why I'm asking. Also to bring about discussion, like let's talk about it.
I think from the stories that I was told about Floyd, he was a honorable man. He was somebody who can kick it with the Bloods, Crips, the businessmen, as well as he would talk to the homeless.
And that's all I read. He was a peaceful man.
Yeah.
He even knew Stephen Jackson.
Yeah.
He was a hell of a high school athlete. Stephen Jackson even said he had all the same tools, all the same abilities that I have. He just didn't have the sources I had to make it what he did.
So I think I think she would be able to not only develop the mindset of knowing who to listen to and how to move, but on top of that, she might be able to also rally people behind her. So I don't think the influence part would be a problem. And I'm just speaking for a father, as a father.
That's what I know.
I don't think the influence part would be a problem, but if it is, I think that she would have the mindset to correct her actions.
Me personally, I'm trying to hold back liquor shower up. That's why I had to take them on.
Yeah.
So, me personally, and liquor shower will tell you, hey, go find some motherfuckers and kill that bitch. That's what liquor shower will tell you to do. Whatever money that you raised on the GoFundMe page, take that money and go kill that motherfucker. That's what liquor shower would tell me. That's what I would say at that point for my daughter. If she, and that's how I think she might feel at the time, as she would feel if she were to see that. Because let's say this, like, this is stuff that's broken out in the news, so she don't see this all the freaking time. This is in your face that your father was murdered.
I know she's young because...
she can't be more than 10, 12 years old.
Because I read a story that her mother hasn't told her yet. Like, I may be skewing it, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure, if I didn't misread it, I'm human. I think the mother didn't tell the daughter yet. So
I hope when she does find out, and I'm hoping she handles it the way that you suggested, because I think that would be the best course of action.
For sure.
Absolutely, not the way that she may be trying to be influenced to handle. So, and then that's where I was getting at, just from a father figure, because we do talk about dad stuff on the show as well. If this shit doesn't get corrected by the time our kids go up, I fear that we'll see that from our kids one day.
Oh yeah. And
as a father,
that's so fucking
scary. And that's fucked up. And that's why it's fucked up. It's scary, and I think what I'm scared the most of is I don't know how I would handle that if I were to see that happen to my son or my daughter, or your son or daughter.
I'm trying to.
I know, and then that's why I wanted to bring about discussion. Like this really got us. Like this is, I mean, I think I would say like this should not be the new normal, but it is. But you said it happens all the time, right? So, and that's why I said like this. We don't know it. We don't know what the resolution is at the time, but we need to find it. Fuck the COVID shit. This needs to be resolved. This needs to be resolved.
The only thing, because I don't know how it reacts.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not holding you back. You do what you do.
The only thing that I can say is I am definitely not going to react the way that they're reacting now. That's the one guaranteed thing that I can say. I am not going to just march in the fucking streets all day long. I am not putting my daughter's name on a fucking t-shirt. I'm not putting my son's name on a t-shirt. And then expect to say, God will handle this. There's no fucking way. I know that I could not be one of those people in the streets with a suit on, and I can't. Now, am I going to raise hell? Fuck yeah. Like, and I don't know what hell I'm going to raise, but if this happened, just know every media outlet is going to see my face, my voice is going to be heard, and I am going to raise hell to the umpteenth degree. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I would do. I don't know how parents can allow this shit to happen and then just be peaceful. Especially when it's on video or on audio. Because you can hear, you can fucking see. And you should be able to know what your son and daughter are not only capable of, but what they would do in this fucking situation. There was a episode on what was the show? Where the girl was the lawyer. The girl from Save the Last Dance. She was also in Kerry Washington.
That's the name of the movie or show?
It was a show. She was. I forgot the real big show that she was on. I forgot, but it was a. What happened was, an officer killed a young black man. He had to be a teenager or just going off to college. And the officer said that the young black man that he killed brandished a knife. He showed a knife, and the officer felt for his life. So he shot him. And the dad sat next to his son with a shotgun. And he said, I'm not moving until everything is released. I know my son. I fucking know my son. And what happened was, Kerry Washington, I forget her name, her character's name. She said, the officer said he showed a knife. He said, my son would not react that way. My son is taught to respect people. So she rolled him over, there was a knife. The dad said, that's not my son's knife. I know my son, he just kept saying it. I know my son, I raised my son, I know my son, I raised my son, I know my son, I raised my son. It turns out that was the officer's knife. He planted it on him. The officer shot the kid because he did not know what the kid was going to do. Didn't ask any questions. He just saw the kid kind of walking diagonally across the car, and he shot him. And the officer said, you don't know what we go through on a day-to-day basis. You don't know what type of animals these people are. You don't know what we see. You don't know what we have to deal with. You don't know. So when I saw him, I had to put him down. And if that happened to my son, if that happened to my daughter, I don't know. I would be that dad. Don't touch that's the dad I would be. That's it. That's what I would do.
I'll tell them, hope you better listen. You better listen to that man. He made it. He absolutely made it.
That's what I would do. To answer your question, that's what I would do. That was so impactful, and I'm watching it, and I feel as if that's what I would do. I know my son. I know my daughter. Even if they're drunk, that I know that they know better. So, I'm sorry, that kind of left you out, Justin.
No, it's understandable. I mean, like I said, it's...
And just... My bad. Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
I'm just observing and listening and
just to add, I don't know if you know this, but we actually have a couple of members that follow us. They got their own podcast too.
Oh, word. Who?
Forget the names. We are following them back. I'll let you know where they are after this. So sadly, kind of wrap it up and end it on a lighter note. I know we talked about it last week, and we didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't bring it up, and we didn't compile a list of our top 20 players of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to know, who's your guys' favorite player? Your all-time favorite player in the NBA.
Oh man, all time. You want to go first, Justin? You ain't really
I'll think about that one for a second.
You don't know who your all-time is off top? Who's yours, son?
Mine's Ray Allen.
I should have known that.
Mine's Ray Allen. Mine's Ray Allen. Jesus Shuttlesworth. That's my guy.
I should have known.
What about yours, Jamal? You got one?
Yeah, mine's Will.
Will? Didn't know that. Never knew that.
Mine is Will. The one that I consider a GOAT.
Okay. Who you got, Josh? Did you think of me yet?
It's hard because I have a couple players in mind.
I'll give you two if you get to the two. Go ahead if they're like 1A and 1B.
So I wouldn't necessarily call them goats.
No, just yours. It's your goal.
Yeah. It's yours. It's yours. Like,
Yes. So a couple players that I really admired growing up, that I just fucking loved to death. One was AI.
Okay.
Loved AI and Garnett.
KG was number 2. He's my number 2 all time.
And those two players, well, obviously for basketball reasons, I loved Allen Iverson because I was always the smallest motherfucker on the court, and you know.
Till you met me.
Yeah, but I just I remember getting a couple pairs of Iversons, the shoes or whatever, like, and that was the fucking greatest thing in the world to me. And then Garnett, I loved the way he played the game. Like, he was always a thin type of guy, which I was always thin, and he always had that aggression. And I was like, well, if he's that thin and aggressive, I could be the same way. You know, like, just play the same way he could. Not saying I was, but this gave me more confidence in myself to look at somebody like that. He wasn't as big, but I mean, but he played the game. I mean, shit, he was what, 200 pounds wet?
If that.
Bro.
I mean, he was like one of the most fierce players in the NBA. I mean, and I loved that about him. I loved him when he was with the Timberwolves and he had Stephon and all them guys. I mean, that's when he was awesome. Well, he was awesome all the time, I think, but them two for sure, though.
Gotcha. You got a favorite NFL player? I'm just kidding. I can't name you one. NFL.
You can't.
I don't have one favorite NFL player. No, I don't.
Not one?
Not like my all time. I don't. I don't, bro. Do you got one? Who's yours?
Actually, I got 2.
All time?
Yeah. Actually, damn, it's tied for 3. But my personal favorite, it would have to be Prime.
Okay.
But the other 2, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. The other 2 is Walter Payton and Barry Sanders.
Do you got one, Josh?
Man, I got a couple.
1 or 2? Or 3?
Well, a couple I admire were Eddie George was one.
Ooh,
I used to
Eddie
love
George?
Eddie George.
Yeah, you did. He used to be a huge Eddie fan.
Eddie George was one of my favorites. Jerome Bettis was one of my favorites too.
Really?
Yeah, I used to love the Steelers, dude. For some reason, I just love Steelers.
I would have never got Jerome Bettis.
I didn't know you were a fucking Steelers fan.
Growing up, I had a couple posters, and I remember Jerome Bettis, which I liked. Jerome Bettis was good. Who else did I like? I hated him, but I learned to gain a lot of respect for him. Was Ray Lewis. I thought he's just, I mean, just the way, his energy. Brian Dawkins is another one that I love. Dawkins, any of them players with energy like that, I just loved it. I just love players like that. But my all-time favorite athlete, since we're on this topic, because I can definitely say my all-time favorite was Mike Tyson.
All-time favorite?
All-time
Yeah,
favorite.
your favorite athlete all time.
All time. That's my favorite athlete of all time. Was Mike Tyson. You may not agree with that, and that's totally fine. But you know,
I can see where you're going with it.
Mike Tyson.
I'll give you my football. So I can come with 3, and 2 of them are so Marvin Harrison. Was one of my favorite receivers growing up. Marvin
Really?
Harrison. Yeah, because then the next one's going to stack because they're two total opposites of the spectrum. Marvin Harrison did play on the field, quiet, was reserved. My other favorite, I love Chad, man. I've been a big fan of Chad also, man. I can't lie, I love Chad.
Yeah, Chad was one of my favorites.
And if I got to pick a 3, because Ed Reed is probably my third or fourth.
Chad's probably my favorite receiver of all time. I loved watching him play. I loved his entertainment.
I can see why you like Ed Reed.
I love Ed one because he came from the U. He played safety, so I got love for the safety position. And just the way he used to attack the game, man.
Can I
Dude was crazy.
politely ask you why you would disagree with Mike Tyson?
Because he wasn't a boxer. He could fight.
He was coming to knock your ass out. That's what he was there to do.
But he easily got outboxed. In his
I'm not saying he easily got outboxed.
How many Hall of Fame boxers did Mike Tyson box?
Well, that's debatable, but
No, it's not.
it is debatable.
How many people did he box that are in the Hall of Fame?
You can say the same thing about Floyd Mayweather.
I don't like Floyd Mayweather. I think Floyd is a good defensive boxer.
He's just a technician. That's all he is.
That's it. But I'm talking about a boxer, not a defensive boxer, not a boxer.
Me personally,
Can I ask why he's your favorite athlete overall though? Like that's why you just I think you shot three. Saying that.
I loved his mentality. He was coming in there. He was doing one job. He was coming to take your shit. Like he wasn't going. Like you said, he wasn't that. I won't say he wasn't a great boxer. He was a good boxer. He was a good boxer. I won't say he's the greatest boxer.
He was the best offensive boxer.
But what I'm saying is, dude, I love the cutthroat attitude. Like going in there and I'm coming to knock your ass out. I'm not gonna come here and play around with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming here to knock your ass out. And for me, like I've always been one of the people that don't like to watch people run around the ring chasing each other and box judge. I just don't like that. I like to watch people
go in and get at it.
Yeah, go in and get at it. Like go in, man, that's what you're there. You're throwing. Go in there and get at it. And regardless of who Mike Tyson went up against, big, small, whatever it was, some of the bigger guys he fought. I mean, he got up under your chin, dude. It was just over.
Until he went against two boxers.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't a technician like Floyd Mayweather or someone that could sit there and box you. That's why I say if we had this debate, Tyson versus Ali.
Easy.
Well, if Tyson were to get up under his chin, I'd say Tyson. But Ali,
he wouldn't allow Tyson to get under his chin.
My thing is though, Ali liked to take a lot of punches. How many punches could he took from Tyson though? Because for me, for pound, I think Tyson was the biggest. Like he had the biggest blows of all time. Like if he hit you. Like, and you kind of take that continuously. He would take you down.
It was only certain fights that he would take. Ali would take those poundings because he knew that the fighter would get gassed.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is that was still part of his game, though.
But that's because he was a boxer.
Okay, but what I'm saying is he would have to approach Tyson differently, just like Tyson had to approach him differently.
He approached everybody differently.
He had pretty much the same tactics, though. He was there to taunt you, basically play around with you, and then when he found you, he was going to fucking knock your ass out.
Exactly, that's a boxer.
I'm not saying that's a bad I'm just saying, though. Like, I don't think he could do that with Tyson, though, is what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
I don't think that would happen with Tyson.
He extorted every boxer for their...
I know, but what I'm saying is, do you think that style would work against Tyson?
Yes.
You think that would work?
Yes.
You think that works off?
What's that? Like, what do you...
Like what I was saying, like taunting and running around and doing all other stuff. Like, do you think that would eat at Tyson? Do you think that would...
See,
Evander Holyfield.
I think Tyson would come at Ali more seriously than he would any other fight. But I think Ali would do the same. I don't think Ali would cut out his antics because that's not the type of boxer he is. He's going to do what works for him. Like you said, he'll change his style up a little bit for how Tyson boxes, but I think Ali will keep him at bay with his length, his jabs,
Well, yeah, that's
and
the
still
thing
his
they have
taunting.
on him,
But the thing Tyson has that
power
is that
The
he
power.
has the one punch.
Yeah.
It only takes one.
I mean, you got to think.
But I don't think Ali let him do that.
Evander Holyfield. He literally outboxed Mike, and he took Mike's hardest blows. But the way he took them is why Holyfield won. Same thing with Lennox Lewis.
I mean, you gotta give Mike Tyson's props.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I just
I think it just shocked us like that's your
favorite
athlete of all time.
because he wasn't even a favorite athlete in his. But I get it. I totally understand.
Maybe I'm biased, but I just.
That's the type. That's your craft. You like that. You like that.
So
Come in here and come get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm not saying it would just shock me like, but I get it.
Yeah. I mean. Yeah. So.
I don't blame you.
Mike Tyson.
Oh man, so let's wrap it up, man. You want to do the look what you're looking at? I feel like we went on a rant already.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna skip that. We'll get back to what you're looking at segment next week. So let's just jump straight to the hall pass. Justin, do you have a hall pass for this week?
Dude, we have to do this every time.
Yes,
now you know
every
we go.
time.
Yes, every single time.
Oh God, there's so many pretty women out there. Man.
All over the world, girls in the Mexico. And that, I don't know, Ludacris song?
Bobby Valentino.
Yeah.
Is it Bobby?
Yeah, I think it's Bobby.
Yeah.
Oh man. You know what? I'll spend it. You know who I? You know I think. You know I think looks decent. I can't remember her name, but she's the. I want to say she's the press secretary for Donald Trump.
Hmm?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have no clue, bro. I really don't.
She's.
I really don't.
I don't know if that's.
I mean, I can find
I could be wrong. I don't know if that's press secretary or not, or whatever they call her. She's like his spokesperson.
I want to
She's
make
been-
sure I go last.
She's been doing the interviews and the posts.
I can find her. What she look like?
She's blonde. White girl, she's blonde.
Oh, I do know who you're talking about.
Anyways, what about you, 3J?
I don't know. You're gonna have to remind me if I picked her. I'm gonna say Serena Williams.
You did.
That's
Because you
fine,
said,
because
yeah, because you kept telling us to fight you on
I
that.
told you.
Oh man.
Yeah, you did.
I was
You want me to go?
thinking
Because I got
Huh.
You want me to go? Or
Yeah.
You want to
I
go?
mean,
Okay.
you can.
Do you got yours already?
I mean, I can.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I don't know if I picked her either.
Okay.
But
Sure.
Coco, Ice-T wife.
Oh, white girl. Yeah,
I don't know if you have or not.
Yeah, she.
she's very plump. She's fruitful.
That's what you said. I was trying to think of the word that you said. So I got 3.
Damn.
So one, because I was watching Black Panther. I can't think of the actress's name, but King T'Challa's.
The white girl.
No.
What the fuck, white girl? Did you see?
Yeah.
There wasn't a white girl. Maybe it was a different Marvel
Black
movie
Panther?
or whatever. Fuck, I don't know. Shit.
Not in just the standalone movie.
Wait a minute. Is it the light skinned girl in that movie?
That's a nice thing. Oh, you talking about Killmonger's girl to be shot?
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, there was a white girl, the one that Killmonger poisoned with the coffee.
Oh yeah.
But no, that's not even.
Okay, go ahead.
King T'Challa's wife. I can't think of her name.
Lupa.
I can't think of what actress.
Lapita.
Is that it?
Yeah, Lapita.
That's number 1. Number 2 is because I was on a movie kick. Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, Fast and Furious. That was number 2. And my number 3 is.
Oh, that is the same girl.
Yeah, it's the same one.
I
She didn't
didn't.
change. It's the exact same one. It's Han's girl, and she ended up being.
I didn't even.
Dude in it?
I didn't even enjoy the Wonder Woman movie. But go. I'm sorry.
I didn't. I mean, it was okay, but I still enjoyed her. My number 3 is just a lot of it's because I'm curious, and she's an older woman.
You gonna say Madonna?
No,
No.
Betty White.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Betty White, man. Hey, she was a golden girl. There's gotta be some golden about her, right?
You know that's all an act, dude.
Hey,
She's a golden girl.
I got one more.
Then she got dentures too. Yes, she do.
Oh man, I think that's a wrap on this one, buddy.
Betty White, you fruitful, baby.
Look at that chain.
Ooh, Sean, close the show, please.
Yeah.
Please, I'm on an emotional roller coaster, bro.
Damn.
Bro, I'm leaving.
That's our show.
I'm leaving.
Thank you for tuning in.
He said.
I told y'all I ended on a light note. Justin, were you gonna say something?
Nope, just ended.
You want nothing else?
Nope, go ahead.
Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Mix It Up. Please follow us on all social media sites. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat by searching at Mix It Up .513. Catch all the video content on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, like by searching Mix Space It Up 513. And listen to our beautiful, handsome voices on Anchor, Google, Spotify, Apple Podcasts by searching Mix It Up. Also, if you have any topics you want us to cover, anything you want to discuss, like my comments about Betty White, email us at 513mixitup@gmail.com.
Mine
Do you
is-
got anything to close it?
I love you. Peace.
Peace.